Bitcoin is a game, and you either master Bitcoin or Bitcoin masters you. And Bitcoin is a cruel master, so you make sure that you are the one in the driver's seat. Now, this video will share with you some things that you must know in order to master the game when investing in Bitcoin. And yes, there is a big world of cryptocurrency out there, but this video will only discuss Bitcoin because Bitcoin is like the index fund of crypto. It is the king of the markets, and the movements of Bitcoin largely dictate what the wider crypto market will be going through. That is why my personal crypto portfolio is always at least half into Bitcoin, and why Bitcoin makes up the cornerstone of most crypto investors' portfolios. And yes, of course, there are many investors out there that only invest in Bitcoin. Now, this video is aimed to give you some practical tips that you will be able to implement to be able to succeed and to master the game of Bitcoin. By the way, if you are new to crypto and you're still trying to work out all of those basics, like what the heck is Bitcoin anyway, or things like how and where do I buy Bitcoin, where do I keep my Bitcoin, and all of those other beginner questions, then you need to check out my course, Cryptocurrency Explained. It is designed to take you from zero to being able to confidently take your first steps into Bitcoin and cryptocurrency investing. There is a link down below that you can click on to learn more. Now, before I give you a list of all the practical tips for how you can master the Bitcoin game, I want you to understand why Bitcoin is so important in 2020. Every fiat currency, it's on a trajectory to zero, to being worthless. That's the yen, that's the pound, that's the dollar, that's the euro. All of them. All of them are critically flawed, and they will slowly head to irrelevance over time. Some will go faster than others, but as this crisis grinds on, no fiat is safe. While these more powerful fiat currencies, they have been able to maintain the charade a lot longer than the others around the world, people just like you have woken up to the pain of terrible banking crises all over the world, where they see their life savings just evaporate, and their retirement funds worthless. And when they go to the bank, sorry, you can't have your money today. The current crisis has really underlined the lengths that governments and the unelected officials that are running the central banks are willing to go to print money into infinity. Hyperinflation remains an actual possibility for many of the world's top fiats. And every time they print a new dollar or a new euro, they steal from you. Negative interest rates slowly creeping in across the globe. That is, of course, when you lose money by keeping money in a savings account. They just take money from your savings account. It's crazy. Global debt, it is well and truly out of control. Some estimates are putting it as high as $250 trillion. Those are from last year. Those estimates is probably higher considering the crisis. By the end of the year, it might be well above that. And around the world, we are seeing an increasing amount of cash ban laws being passed that basically criminalize cash purchases over what can be as little as just a couple of $1,000, makes you a criminal, punishable by fines or jail. And dramatic fiat currency failure in places like Lebanon and Argentina, they have seen tough capital controls be put in place, restricting people from accessing their own money during these crisis events. Never has there been a greater need for a digital currency, one that is free from the manipulations and the controls of government. A currency of the internet, for the internet, and most importantly, for the people. That currency, of course, is Bitcoin. Of course it's Bitcoin. Of course it's Bitcoin. And what follows are some practical tips that you need to know when you're investing in Bitcoin. The first, be in the game. Do not stay on zero. Bitcoin is an incredibly scarce asset. You only need 0.28 Bitcoin to be in the top 1% globally. Now, over time, investors who have added even just a small percentage of Bitcoin to their portfolios, I'm talking like 1% of your portfolio, those investors have significantly outperformed investors with 0% Bitcoin in their portfolios. Now, to reduce the stress of trying to buy Bitcoin at the perfect time, the most common method that Bitcoin investors use to get Bitcoin is to dollar cost average. Simply just buying a set amount every other week or once a month, whatever it might be. So, for example, it might be $50 worth of Bitcoin every time you get paid on payday. This simple and very effective method gives you price exposure across a range of different time frames, and over time gives you a lower average buy price compared to someone who just goes all in on Thursday or whatever a random day might be. Now, the next thing that you must be super aware of is fees. Both the buying fees and the withdrawal fees on exchange. In particular, let's talk about buying fees, because overpaying now, even 1%, that will cost you big time in the long run. The only reason to pay higher fees is when you're using like a broker service, for example, since you actually get personalized service and a whole lot of extra value adds on top of that. Otherwise, if you're just trying to use an exchange, then there is no reason to be paying over 1% in fees. And some exchanges like Coinbase, they can charge much more than that for using a card, for example, to buy your crypto. And do understand that buying crypto using a card, that will always be more expensive. You will pay much lower rates by sending bank transfers to an exchange to buy Bitcoin. Now, you should be able to get fees as low as 0.2 or even 0.1% for your Bitcoin purchases. Paying much higher than that, I'm sorry, but you're getting robbed in that situation. And you may say, oh, but come on, Lark, 3%, isn't that bad? It's just so convenient to pay with my card. You are doing a disservice to future you. Those high fees, they really compound over time. Which leads me on to my next point. Earn Bitcoin. Find ways to get paid in Bitcoin. Now, if you're investing in Bitcoin, and chances are that you're already using services that have potentially very lucrative affiliate programs. Now, this is actually massively underused by investors. For example, if you have a friend who has Bitcoin and they want a way to easily spend their Bitcoin profits, well, you know what you can do? You can tell them to sign up for a crypto.com debit card just like this one using your link. You will get $50 in crypto, and your friend will also get $50 in crypto after they purchase a Ruby Red tier card or higher. Basically a win-win. It doesn't get much better than that. By the way, if you still need to get a card, then there's a link down below that you can click on to check out these cards. They are now shipping to Australia, to New Zealand, to the United Kingdom, most states in the United States, and soon all across the European Union. Now, the lesson here, never be afraid to recommend a good service to your friends or to your coworkers. You both win. And if you don't do it, then you're basically throwing money away, which is silly, obviously. And also on that topic, if you have a skill that you can monetize, accept Bitcoin for that skill. That way you're trading time for Bitcoin, which is a good trade. The next incredibly important thing to remember is to hit that like button to appease my masters over at YouTube. Anyway, let's get serious and talk about taxes. I know, damn the man, tax man, rah. But seriously, pay your taxes, or men with guns will show up to your house and make you pay those taxes, which is definitely not cool. Definitely not cool. Sadly, though, many jurisdictions across the world have totally inadequate tax laws that are very vague and do not really go far enough to give people that certainty in investing in crypto. And these rules can vary drastically from country to country. The good news is that there are more and more crypto-friendly tax accountants out there, so you can definitely find help to get your taxes filed properly for your crypto. And look, I can't really give any specific advice right now because it varies so drastically from place to place, whether from state to state or country to country. Except this advice: take it seriously and get it done. The last thing you want to do is to get in trouble Because you were just too lazy to go out and find a crypto tax accountant. Because while the regulations on crypto taxation may not be clear, there is one thing that is definitely clear. The tax man, he wants his cut, and he'll get it. So don't play around with that stuff. The other thing that is as certain as taxes, death. Yeah, it happens to all of us. Even Chuck Norris is gonna die someday. I know it's great. Look, I guess that remains proven to be seen if Chuck Norris can actually die. But everyone except Chuck Norris, you're gonna die. I'm sorry, but it happens. Now, obviously, many of us will hope that we'll have time to get all of our affairs in order before we die. You're going to have months to plan for your return to the cosmos. You can take care of all these little details. But death can come at any second, and it can come from the most unlikely of places. I mean, you could be hit by a bus. Buses are super dangerous, man. You could fall over on a sidewalk. Crazy. Boom. Dead. Maybe get kicked by a donkey, man. Dead. Or, of course, you tie the belt just a little bit too tight during some, self-induced erotic asphyxiation. It happens, But no matter how you go, it's going to happen one day. And when that day comes, your loved ones will either be able to access your Bitcoin wealth or they will not because you didn't tell them how to. So make a damn plan, man. Tell your wife and your kids how to recover your Bitcoin, or maybe just leave a letter instructing them where your passphrase is for your ledger, along with instructions on how to sell that as part of your will. Whatever your strategy, however you choose to do that, make sure that you do have a plan for it and that you let people know. Okay, now on for a topic just a little bit lighter than death. We're going to talk about lending. Never underestimate the exponential power of compound interest. Crypto in general, it's had a kind of tough run in the early days with these fake lending schemes, which were nothing more than straight up Ponzi scams. But now in 2020, we actually have multiple companies which are offering real services in realistic, competitive rates. We have companies like Celsius or like Nexo or Crypto.com. These are all great options to lend out your Bitcoin or even your dollars and get a steady income. But the one that I would like to most recommend is BlockFi. BlockFi has no minimum deposits. There are no lockup terms for your crypto. It is a highly secure exchange secured by Gemini's custody services, has one free withdrawal a month, and now you can do direct bank transfers to get cash onto the platform. And there is no crypto token required like a lot of the other services. So for all of these reasons and more, BlockFi is one of my favorite places to lend out my crypto. And they just brought their Bitcoin rate back up to 6% a year. Nice. So you can leave your Bitcoin to earn nothing on an exchange, or, of course, in your wallet, which is the more secure place to keep it, or you can get it activated and start earning 6% a year over on BlockFi on your Bitcoin holdings. Alternatively, if you don't want to leave your Bitcoin on a service like BlockFi, but you still want to get exposure to crypto, but you want to keep your cash position, then you can actually lend out your cash over on BlockFi and get paid 8.6%, either paid out in cash or paid out in Bitcoin. So this is actually a nifty little trick to accumulate Bitcoin. So you get 8.6% paid out on your cash, but then you can have that paid out in Bitcoin interest. And of course, then you can withdraw all of your cash when you're done, so you're not risking your capital in that way. You're just parking your capital and earning Bitcoin as interest. And then, of course, once you have that Bitcoin accruing in your interest account, then you will also earn 6% interest on the Bitcoin that's sitting there. So really just winning all around. Remember, make money your slave instead of being a slave to money. And as a bonus, until the 10th of April, BlockFi has a special offer for all of you who are part of the cryptolark community. So if you sign up using the link down below and deposit $250 or more worth of crypto and hold it on your account for 3 months, then you'll get a whopping $50 bonus paid out in Bitcoin. Pretty cool stuff. Now this offer is only valid for new users and only using the link down below. Get that free money, guys. Free money is free. Okay, next up, understand the truth about many of the altcoins. Many of these coins hold little to no value, and their only purpose is to get more Bitcoin by flipping them, basically. Sorry, but that is the harsh truth for a large percentage of the altcoin market. That being said, of course, there are some really awesome coins out there, some really amazing cryptos that have made very important contributions to the entire cryptocurrency economy. There are cryptocurrencies that have great revenue models for token holders and can be very, very lucrative to hold onto. And of course, there are cryptos that have amazing features, like we see the privacy technology from Monero, for example. But the majority of cryptocurrencies which exist have no future. 90% or more of them will fail. Pretty similar rates to startups, actually, in the startup industry. It's not so different in crypto. But there are cryptocurrencies like Ethereum and Binance Token and Monero and Chainlink and Basic Attention Token and Engine. These are some really great cryptos with great fundamentals. Those and a bunch of others, they have real long-term potential. For example, for me, I love Ethereum. Ethereum is a long-term hold. And yes, a lot of coins are going to outperform Bitcoin in the short term. But in the long term, Bitcoin is the steady survivor. So you have to understand the risk and reward and manage those risks when investing outside of Bitcoin. Okay, my next tip here for you. Here's the game you need to play. It's called Don't Lose Your Bitcoin. There are only ever going to be 21 million Bitcoin as an absolute maximum. 4 to 6 million of those Bitcoin are already lost. So understand the risk to reward when you're considering trading. Understand that the majority of traders do lose because they have no idea what the heck they're doing. Warren Buffett's got a great quote on this. He said, his rules of investing. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. Trading is definitely high risk for a lot of people. For altcoins, it can be quite high risk. It's even higher risk for margin trading. Understand that even though you see a lot of people posting like, I made so much money trading, you don't need to do it. If you don't know how to trade, just buy and hold Bitcoin. Yeah, sure, there's traders out there making money, but if you don't know how to trade and you're not willing to take the time required to learn how to do it, don't do it. Just stack sats and chill. Simple. And finally, a word about the market. Bitcoin, it is a wild, wild asset. And every single day, weak hands get shaken out of this market. People just throw in the towel and walk away. Some of these people came in, they were expecting overnight riches. Sorry, but you came to the wrong place. Some of these people, they're just unable to bear a 5 or a 10% drop in price. You're not going to last long in Bitcoin if that's your point. Understand that the market moves in cycles. Prices fluctuate up and they fluctuate down, sometimes dramatically on a daily basis. It's a very volatile market. It's famous for that. These falls are normal and predictable. Don't be afraid of them. Lower your time preference. Bitcoin is an escape from fiat. Bitcoin is really more of a get rich slow kind of thing. It's more of a freedom thing even. And of course, the most important thing of all that I want to leave you with today, realize that the true wealth is emotional wealth. Because in the end, what we really want from investing in Bitcoin are the emotions that it will give us, the sense of freedom, security, comfort. Those are the things that we believe money will give us. Or of course, just the joy that comes from sharing our wealth. The pursuit of riches should always be in service of these higher ideals. Always remember to have that gratitude for the fact that you're actually able to have the income to be able to invest in Bitcoin in the first place, because many of our fellow Earth dwellers, they do not and will never have this great privilege. And a life rich with gratitude and love, that's really the end goal for all of life, really. Because regardless of how rich you get, if you are miserable, then I'm sorry, but you lost the game. Anyway, those are just my 2 Satoshis. My question for you, what other tips do you have for those who are new to Bitcoin and are looking how to master the game? What do you wish you had known when starting out that would have helped you master the game? I know there's a lot of experience out there in the audience, so I'd love your insights posted down below in the comment section. And for everyone who is looking for insights, head down to the comment section. I know there's going to be a lot of just great nuggets of wisdom shared down there. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, remember that you are awesome. So thank you so much. I hope you're having a great day. Staying safe out there in spite of all the craziness that we see going on. If you did enjoy today's video, thumbs up button would be super appreciated. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.